Wow, wow, wow. Spurs lose at home against Fulham. Huge mistake from Vicario. City get the win. We're going to get into all of that this morning. But first of all, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks to everyone who subscribed recently. You're helping me to grow the community. Really great to have you with me. And hey, anybody who's watching that hasn't done that already, what are you doing? You're just staring at the screen with no likes, no shares, no subscribes. Help me out, grow the community with me, and let's get into yesterday's big results in the Premier League. We got to start with Spurs, right? I mean, I was kind of joking in my preview about Fulham getting one over on Spurs. Fulham have a lot of Arsenal boys, so, I was hoping they would do us a favour. In the end, Spurs were their own worst enemy. I mean, what the hell was that in the first half? The defending was all over the place. Vicario was all over the place. I mean, that second goal. What the hell is that? You've come all the way out to get involved, to like shepherd the ball out, and then just kick the ball out, brother. Like, what are you doing? And then you try some stupid, I don't know what he was thinking. Oh yeah, this is a really good time to try and launch a counter-attack. Nah, bruv. Kick the ball out, get back to goal, and fix stuff up. They were all over the place in that first half. They're lucky they weren't 3-4 goals down. Van der Ven was all at sea. Romero was missing for that game, and so that partnership was broken up. But anyway, we put 4 past that partnership last Sunday. So Spurs are looking in trouble. I really thought Thomas Frank would come in and do a good job, but I guess you can't polish a turd. Spurs finished what? 17th last season. So it was always going to be a big ask to get them, in the top half of the football playing fantastic, in the top half of the table playing fantastic football. But I thought Thomas Frank would be the manager to come in and really, really steady that Tottenham ship. But I guess, this is the history of Tottenham. It's just unbelievable that somebody who I thought was one of the best managers in the league last season is now being made to look like he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. I mean, that first half was shocking from Spurs. Fair play, they got themselves back into the game with a great Kudus goal. But by the time it was too little too late. I mean, the Spurs fans are really turning on the team after that performance. Vicario was getting pelters in that game. I mean, it's just such stupid goalkeeping. I found it hilarious. It was a great little way to end what was an epic mammoth day of football. That's why this video is coming out this morning, because by the end of the day, I'd gorged on football 4 games in a row. But that Spurs game was something else. And like I said, Thomas Frank has got to be coming under pressure. I said before that I don't think he's under pressure yet, but that game, I think that's the turning point. I think he's really going to have to be fighting against the tide now. And what do you do with that Spurs team? They don't really have a good attack. A lot of their best players are injured, to be fair to them, in terms of attacking talent, but they don't play in a cohesive way. It's just a random moment here or there, like Kudus's goal or Richarlison against us, and there's no cohesive play really in that team. And the one part of that team that you think would be able to function the best, the defense, they are all at sea, and Vicario is adding to that. He's really not a commanding keeper. He's not the type of keeper that instills confidence in the defense around him. Sure, he can make a good save and he can be a good shot stopper, but I mean, he doesn't know how to really control that back 4 in front of him, and that is a problem. And if you have that lack of cohesion going throughout the whole team, then no wonder you're getting served up what we saw yesterday from Spurs. And if I was a Spurs fan, yeah, I'd be getting worried, because they're just getting the little bit of gains they made at the beginning of the season, because to be fair, they were playing all right, And it's all gone now. I think all that goodwill that Thomas Frank had built up, it's starting to be eroded away by these kinds of results. And once the stadium turns against you, that's a really hard position to come back from. So Thomas Frank is going to really, really need to get his Spurs team playing well and winning from somewhere. But, that is their problem. I'm enjoying watching it. Thomas Frank, I liked you before, and now you're my enemy. And so sorry, I gotta watch you fail. But Spurs really under pressure, Frank really under pressure, and it's early to talk about getting rid of a manager, but they're gonna have to do something. I'm not saying necessarily get rid of him, but something has to happen at Spurs because once you get into that death spiral that they're getting into, it's a long way out. Spurs losing to Fulham at home, another love. They've lost 3 London derbies in a row, right? Chelsea, us, Fulham, and there's more London derbies than any other derbies in the league. So if they carry on like this, it's long days for Spurs. So yo, funny stuff, funny stuff. But anyway, City got the win. I mean, to be honest, you're not worrying me like that, City, to be fair. This is Leeds, bottom of the table Leeds. And City, fair play, they start really well, you know, with Foden scoring. They get into a 2-goal lead, Foden in the first minute, right? Early goal. That was a bit of a feature of the weekend, a few early goals. And Guardiola gets his goal in the 25th minute. And you're looking at City and you're going, okay, safe. All right, they're looking good. They're dominating play. That first half was all City. I don't think Leeds created anything. And you thought, okay, City are going to go on to win this game pretty comfortably because, yo, it's City Leeds 2-0 up. They're playing well. Haaland's on the pitch. Let's see, you know. I was almost like, ooh, maybe I should go and do something and maybe have this game just on in the background because it's going to be a long day for Leeds. But yo, that second half changed everything. Who's it that come on? Calvert-Lewin come on in the second half and changed the game. He was everywhere in that second half. So fair play to him. You know, he made that move because he needed to get game time. He really wasn't getting the game time at Everton. And it's been a struggle for him to really start getting himself into the side. But coming on in that second half, wow, really good. City got so complacent, you know. They've lost that defensive discipline, that mindset, that desire, that enjoyment for defending. They've lost it. They used to be fair, you could barely attack against them because of their attack. So it was just to get a shot against City was long days. But now that's not so hard to do. City are leaking goals, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not really worried about City this season. They will win games, but they're going to lose games. I mean, they almost dropped points here against Leeds, and that second half, Leeds could have put themselves ahead, to be fair, and City are just too easy to get at for me. They play like Pep is behaving recently. Like, he's so erratic when you watch his interviews and stuff like that, and at the end of games and even during the game on the side of the pitch, he's so erratic, and that's what City are. I think they're an erratic team, and when they play well, they will blow teams away, blow them out of the water like they did in the first half to Leeds. But I was talking to my friends in the group, and I said, you know what, if anything, if Leeds are going to get back into this, City are going to be the ones to let them back in, because they have that kind of gene in them at the moment where they can make a mistake. And that penalty to go 2-2, what the hell kind of tackle was that? That was like, I don't know, that was like some Tekken move or something. But fair play, 2-2 to Leeds, and then as soon as I saw 10 minutes go up, I felt for Leeds, you know, and I literally saw the players' heads drop. 10 minutes is a long time when you've just been playing so well and holding City at bay. You want to look up and see maybe 2-3 minutes, but 10 minutes, and then boom, City get the goal. And it was just a moment of heads dropping really from Leeds, and that's why they kind of are where they are in the table, and they need to be able to focus for the whole game because they did well and they deserved something out of the game. But if City continue playing like that, I mean, like I said, they're not really someone that I'm scared of at the moment. Yes, they're City and they can beat anyone on their day, but they can lose to anyone at the moment. And when you can concede 2 goals to Leeds when you're 2-0 up, that to me does not look like the sign of challengers at the moment for the league. So City have a bit to fix up, that's for sure. But hey, they got the win, and fair play to them. Sunderland, I said they'd get the win, but that was a much more dramatic game than I expected it to be. That second goal. Why is it with players scoring goals from the halfway line? I'll tell you what it is, because a lot of teams want to play out from the back more, so keepers are further up the pitch, and it leaves that option if you have someone who can execute you know, you can catch some keepers out. Raya got caught out by Richarlison last time, and who was it? Tyler Adams this time scored from the halfway line basically, and they were 2-0 up, and you thought Bournemouth were cruising, but Sunderland are not a team to lie down and take it, and they got back into the game. Huge 3 points for them. They get 3 goals, comeback win, and yeah, fair play to Sunderland. I thought they would get back to winning ways. They really needed to, because they hadn't won since they drew against us. That was the beginning of their mini slump. I think that game took a lot out of them. So fair play to them. But Bournemouth will be fine. They'll get a lot of points this season. They're a good side. It was a good game. I watched the extended highlights of it because it's 3-2. I was like, let's find out what went on there. So it was a good game in the end. What was the other games? Brentford, big win against Burnley. To move into the top half at least until tomorrow. Newcastle smashed Everton yesterday. Another goalkeeping howler, Pickford. Oh my days! What was that? He nutmegged himself. As in, like T-Rex hands, just nutmegged himself. That was awful. So a little bit of a feature over the weekend was goalies making mistakes. And so we look at the final scores from the weekend. There we see it. Brentford won 3-1. Manchester City get that 3-2 win against Leeds. That was close, City. You're not going to scare people playing like that, like I said. Sunderland, dramatic game, 3-2. Massive win for them, like I said, huge. I have a bit of a soft spot for Sunderland because of Granit Xhaka. Still love that guy. Everton. And that just goes to show how bad that loss was for United against Everton, because, wow. Like, it was in the first minute as well, they conceded. There's so many early goals this weekend, so many goalkeeper mistakes. I think, it was a bit of a dramatic weekend of football. And Everton, that's terrible result for them, losing 4-1 at home. And like I said, United, that was a terrible result, losing to Everton, 10 men, Everton 1-0, crazy. United have a big game today. First game that's going to be kicking off, Palace United. I'm going to be definitely watching that later. I'll give you my match reaction to that. Let's see if we can have... Would it be a shock if United lost? I don't really think so. And then finally, Spurs losing that game 1-2. So Spurs are in trouble. That is not going to inspire confidence in their fans. Do you know what I mean? And so where does that really leave the league table at the end of Saturday? Let's have a quick look at the league table. Arsenal, of course, stay top. We haven't played yet, but we already had that cushion. Nothing was going to dislodge us from that top spot. City get themselves up into second place. That was an important win for them. They needed to get that win, but we have a chance to extend our lead further if we can win against Chelsea later. Chelsea third. Sunderland up to fourth. There with that win. They said they really needed that win. Villa still to play today. If they can get a win, then they will go ahead of Sunderland, that's for sure. Crystal Palace, can they get that win against United later? That would be huge for them. They would move up the table. Brighton in the top half, they still have to play. Brentford are in the top half now with that win. Bournemouth, even though they lost, they stay in the top half. Tottenham, even though they lost, they're still in the top half. But of course, a few games to come today, but look at that Tottenham form. It's not looking good. 3 losses out of their last 5 games, only 1 win. There's a lot of pressure on Frank now. Spurs, what are you going to do? So that was the big talking points from yesterday. Of course, it's all about today. Today's the big one, people. Later on, I'll be doing my watch along of Chelsea Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. So be there. Don't miss that one. It's going to be fire. Yo, Esteval, Calafiori, that battle is something I'm looking forward to as well. So tune in for that, people. Hey, Sunday, enjoy your Sunday. Big games coming, kicking off with Crystal Palace United. Like I said, I'll do a reaction after that, see how the game went, and I will see you later on the watch along. So have a wonderful Sunday, people. Thanks for being here. Peace. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You're here again. You haven't done it. Peace out. Bye. Take care.